Welcome back to another explainer here on why it exists. Today, we're kicking things off with a pretty massive question. I mean, why in the world do we paint these giant 40-foot vehicles the color of a literal lemon instead of, a standard warning color? Why are school buses always yellow? Seriously, you see them every single day. They're an absolute staple of the morning commute. But if you really stop and think about it, you probably have absolutely no idea why this exists. It's this massive mystery just hiding right there in plain sight. Okay, so let's dive right into this. When you think of danger or caution or, just a general warning, what color immediately pops into your head? It's red, right? We all naturally assume red means danger and stop. But reality? Well, it's a bit more complicated than that. If we actually painted these buses red, they would totally blend in with stop signs, taillights, and fire engines. Red just doesn't grab our attention in everyday traffic the way high-visibility yellow does. Yellow, it kind of silently communicates, hey, be careful, children are here, and it does it without conflicting with the traffic signals we're already used to. So when exactly did this all start? Well, if we look way back to 1886, kids were actually transported in these horse-drawn carriages called kid hacks, or sometimes even just farm wheat wagons. Fast forward to the 1930s, and you've got students riding in trucks of every imaginable condition and color. It was total chaos. That is, until 1939, when a rural education expert named Frank W. Sire decided to organize a conference at Columbia University to standardize the whole shebang. And crazy enough, it actually took until 1974 for Minnesota to become the very last state to finally adopt this standard color. Frank Sire, who eventually became known as the father of the yellow school bus, had this incredible observation. Before his big conference, one district actually went ahead and painted their buses red, white, and blue to inspire patriotism. But Sire pointed out that this was basically camouflage. So at that 1939 conference, Sire literally hung 50 different shades of yellow right on the wall. They boldly rejected those patriotic colors because they realized that absolute, undeniable visibility was the only real way to guarantee safety. And that brings us to the real biological reason why this exists. You see, the color they ended up choosing isn't just some random shade they liked. It has a highly specific, federally recognized name. It's called National School Bus Glossy Yellow. But why this specific shade? Well, it all comes down to some surprisingly hard science. It's all about the biology of the human eye. Inside our eyes, we have these photoreceptor cells called cones, and they're what help us see color. The wavelength of this specific yellow, it's practically magic because it hits our red and green cones exactly equally. By stimulating both of these cones at the exact same time, it actually doubles the signal transmission straight to your brain. Because of this amazing little biological hack, this exact yellow is unbelievably easy to spot in your peripheral vision, even if you're driving in heavy rain, snow, or fog. But hey, beyond biology, there are massive practical design benefits here too. Because it's not just about the yellow, it's about the contrast. Black lettering on a yellow background provides the absolute maximum contrast possible. This ensures instant legibility for drivers approaching from a distance. Your brain registers that stark black text against the bright yellow instantly, which gives you maximum time to react, slow down, and hit the brakes. Okay, time for some fun facts. You might think, you could just grab any old yellow paint off a hardware store shelf. But no, the CMYK color makeup for these buses is incredibly precise. It is exactly 100% yellow, 15% magenta, 0% cyan, and 0% black. That right there is the literal scientific recipe for maximum road visibility. But there's actually a pretty dark, toxic history to this paint. When it was first formulated back in 1939, it was officially named National School Bus Chrome. And why is that? Well, because it contained a highly toxic element called hexavalent chromium, also known as lead chromate. Yeah, the original high-visibility paint was incredibly dangerous and posed severe cancer risks, especially to the manufacturing employees who were actually applying it to the buses. Thankfully, that dangerous formula was eventually replaced to keep everyone safe, but the iconic color, that stayed exactly the same. So the absolute crucial point here is, does all this meticulous scientific planning actually work? The answer lies in one massive statistic: 70. Thanks to these super strict standards and that totally unmistakable yellow paint, riding a school bus is 70 times safer than riding to school in a regular passenger car. Statistically speaking, it is without a doubt the safest vehicle on the entire road.
That iconic yellow really remains a silent guardian of safety. It's just amazing to think that a simple color choice made by a group of experts in a room back in 1939 is literally still protecting millions of children every single day. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other everyday designs are secretly engineered to control our behavior and keep us safe? Stay curious, everyone, and keep wondering why it exists.